What up?
What's going on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all platforms? Welcome to another episode of New York Giants Full Access presented by the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. Thank all you guys for tuning in. We getting ready to get into the intro, and then we're going to talk some Giants football after this. So let's get into it.
Welcome to New York Giants Full Access with Big Pat Sports Talk, where you get the latest and realest Giants news and content. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Want to talk your talk with Big Pat Sports Talk and become an official Big Blue Crew member? Hit the join button in the description. Wanna look fly is some Big Pat Sports Talk merch? Head over to the Big Pat Sports Shop and grab you some gear. The link is in the description.
New York Giants Full Access, all Giants, all the time. All right, Giants fans. New York Giants Full Access is now live. Enjoy the show.
All right, what up, what up, what up? What's going on, chat? Thank you guys for tuning in to another late night New York Giants Full Access with your hosts, Big Pat Sports Talk and G Nation Big Blue Lou, two members of the founding co-founders of the Big Blue Crew. Joe, get healthy. Can't wait till you get able to come back 100%. But shout out to the chat, Eman Perry, Ghost Dog, Mr. Popo, Blue Doja.
He said, challenge me to a duel, 15-2.
D-Dan Shelton, what's going on? Little Bulldozer. Hey, Tally Rand with the, I believe that's a $2 super chat. He says, awesome introduction. I appreciate you, bro. Hope all is well with you, Tally, man. You've been rolling with me since the beginning. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate all your support, man. Little Bulldozer, he said, let's talk about how great we're going to be this year. Oh, you already know.
Greatest show on turf. Big Blue edition, Al Bundy style. I once threw 5 touchdowns in one game.
Right. No, ma'am. Hey,
Right.
so Al Bundy was the greatest, man. Hey, so we all know that Hard Knocks New York Giants offseason premiered last Tuesday night. And there was a couple of things in there that were interesting about that episode. First and foremost, they showed how we got Brian Burns. Wells, what's going on, Wells? Another member of the Big Blue Crew. What's
Hey,
going on,
Welshman.
big dog? Nah, 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 nah. But
He
they
said,
showed
nah, 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 nah.
right,
Hey, Big Blue.
right. Eric Johnson, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. Ain't seen you in a minute. Hope all is well with you as well, EJ. El Capitan, what's going on? Hey, they showed how we got Brian Burns in the trade.
Yeah.
They showed how we lost Saquon Barkley and Xavier McKinney, and
And
they
that was
showed
no
all the
one's doing. We didn't
yeah they
lose.
should
He left.
yep. 40 Luck, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. They showed they
40
showed they showed that Brian Dable would have been comfortable trading up for Jaden Daniels. Um, they showed that John Mara was not particularly happy about Saquon Barkley
She the baddest bitch.
leaving to the Philadelphia Eagles. What's going on, Miss Trina? Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. They showed a lot of things in this episode, man. So we're gonna talk about a couple of things.
Let's sign Terrell Owens.
Hey, he probably can still be better than a lot of people in the league. That dude's still gone.
Don't get it twisted. Yeah.
That dude's still legit. But let's talk about, I guess, the elephant in the room. The whole looks like the Saquon Barkley saga finally came to a head in episode 3. That showed how he left, and they showed our efforts in trying to get him, and they showed how disappointed John Mara was. Now, John Mara showed disappointment, but it really wasn't about him letting Saquon Barkley leave. It was about Saquon Barkley going to the Eagles. And that's what he was kind of like, in his feelings about, because he said, man, I ain't going to be able to get no sleep if Saquon Barkley goes to the Eagles, because he's our most popular player. And it showed that the New York Giants really had love for Saquon Barkley in that building, but it's just the money issue. It wasn't to be.
Flat out said it. He said he was our best offensive player.
Mm-hmm.
He flat out said it. So they thought highly of him. They didn't want to disrespect him by lowballing him or him feeling like the offer was a lowball. So he literally said, I want him to go out there, test the market, see what his value is, come back at me with a number, and we can figure it out. We can try to match it.
But it looks like the price was a little too steep and they couldn't match it. And a lot of people are trying to, flip that clip of Mara speaking, saying, he said, yeah, we are going to be okay. When Joe Shane was like, yeah, he's gone, but we're going to be okay. And John Mara said, yeah, we are going to be okay. And they showed him walking down the hallway. Like, he got that walk that he always looked like he walking and he's sad. I guess because his old age, his back is hurting or something. But it's like people are trying to flip it like John Mara and Joe Shane are not on the same page. And they're trying to flip it to make it like is Joe Shane going against John Mara's wishes, and John Mara is going to get, tired of Joe Shane. And if we don't win, if we don't beat the Eagles, or Saquon Barkley has a good season, that he will fire Joe Shane in the end. And I don't think that's right. I don't think that's wrong. What do you think about that, Lou? Let me get to the chat real quick, because a lot of people popped in here. Big Money, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in. Moet Olsen, he says the negativity on this Hard Knocks is absolutely fuckery. The heat of the GM is getting is crazy. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right now, Olsen. DJ the Terminator, what's going on? Alex, hey, I put the link in the Big Blue Crew chat, Alex, if you want to come on and talk your talk a little bit. Leaf Diggy, what's going on, Leaf? SETI 079, he says,
that's the Blues Brothers.
Hey, that was actually a pretty good movie too, with Dan Aykroyd and I think James Belushi or John Belushi.
John Goodman.
Okay.
John Goodman and Jim Belushi.
Yeah. SETI, he says, I feel like Brandon Brown would be a better GM for the Giants. Explain that to us. Ghost Dog, he says they have been talking crazy about Shane's moves, and I don't know why. Yeah. He said Saquon misjudged his value in the running back position. Yeah, that's true, Iman. Lil Moses says, match this eggplant. Damn. Well, he says something about Mara, though. He's been making decisions for years. Did he step back this year? No sleep. Yeah, he stepped back. He let Joe Shane do what he was supposed to do. He says Clueless Joe. He said the Blues Brothers, Lou, Pat, what's the word? Yeah, we talking about this damn Hard Knocks episode 3. Mr. Popo, he says the Hard Knocks with the Giants is telling me our front office knows what they're doing. I believe so, yeah. He says that backwards Hurley fitted hat was nasty work. Okay. Darnell Big Buddy says, Mara got that. I got to use the bathroom walk. Yeah, he do. Mr. Popo, he says, Giants making the playoffs for sure if the offensive line isn't piss poor. Facts. He said, damn, some of y'all come on Lose Channel. Yeah, they are on Lose Channel. Oh, you see all the paper clips? Miss Flaw, what's going on, mama? She says, hi, everyone. Driving home and I can't hear anything Lou is saying. Oh, yeah, Mike. Say something.
Mike. Yo.
Your mic is low, but when you get closer to it, pause.
Check. Y'all can't hear me?
Now I can hear you well. Joe Shane feels like he is guessing on the market. I don't feel confidence from him. Yeah, okay. How was he guessing on the free agent market with everybody they targeted they got? How was he guessing? How was he guessing when he had a whole board full of players that they would target if this doesn't happen? Or if this happens, we're going to target this player. You do know those free agents have their own minds and their own brains, and they can go wherever they want to go because they're free agents, right? But somehow the Jets wanted Ryan, and he came over to the Giants. Somehow the Cardinals wanted light-skinned Jermaine, but he wound up a Giant. So I think they were doing a very good job. I think he fixed it, flawed. But I don't know what you think about that, Lou. You think? Oh, well, hold on. Tudo with the $4.99 super chat for Big Lou. He says salutes and respect to El Rey del Boricua, Little Bronx, Little Italy, little people, old people, short people, fat people, black people, Mexican people, all people. Big Blue Crew family crew in the building. Greetings from me and my mates from Tokyo. Hey, glad you had a safe trip to Tokyo, Tudo. Right. Arigate. Tudo, thank you for putting the links in the chat. Little Bulldozer say free agent. Yep. Dash, he says, crazy how so many folks can watch the same show and come away with different reactions to it. I'm loving what I'm seeing. Me too. Hey, Dash, if you want to come on the panel and talk a little bit, man, I put the link in the chat for you. Let me know. Stupid, man. But let the people know what you think about the front office decisions so far in Hard Knocks.
Everybody knows I was a big Saquon fan. I wanted him to stay here, remain a Giant. He was saying he wanted to be a Giant for life. You know, we have that slogan, once a Giant, always a Giant. I would have loved to see him win a ring here, you know, or 2 or 3. But, you know, he left. He chose to go with the ops. And it is what it is. Now we're going to break a rib or two. But, you know, I don't think they handled it wrong. I think they actually showed him respect and letting him go out and test the market and see what his value was.
Mosley.
And in hopes that he would come back and they would reach an agreement. But I think he wanted to be in Philly. You know, I think he you know, he was born in the Bronx, but he was raised out there. He went to Penn State and everything. So he's a Pennsylvania guy at heart. And I think that's where he wanted to be. I just wish he would have been a man about it. I think the Giants organization handled it rather well. I think Shane and Dable handled it well. They didn't come out and bash the man and speak ill of him or leak negotiation details or anything like that. Even when the media was getting all crazy and saying, oh, they messed up, they blew it, you know, they held their composure. They acted like businessmen. They conducted themselves with class. And I think this organization is headed in the right direction. Do we have the running back situation figured out? No, I wouldn't say that. But, you know, historically, we've won with a running back by committee. And I think we can do just that. I think these guys are nowhere near done. I think when cuts are made and we get down to the 53-man roster, we'll be picking guys from other practice squads and other rosters. And this team is still in the making. The best is yet to come. And we're building a team for sustained success.
That's a fact. And just to go off, a lot of you guys think like this about the whole situation with Saquon Barkley. He says, my problem with Saquon's situation is they never made him an offer. That's false. They made that man 4 offers before this offseason. Are you going to keep bashing your head against the wall for a player that's telling you I want to be a Giant for life and all this? And then he goes signs with your arch rival for a $500,000 more a year and $3 million more guaranteed. But he's telling you, hey, I want to be a Giant for life forever, and you know where I want to be and all this. No, man, you're not going to keep going out your way for that. And here's a saying that I'm going to say about this whole situation. I'm going to leave it alone. The show must go on. That's how Joe Shane and them approached it. Look, we tried our best to bring back Saquon. We know that Saquon Barkley is one of the better running backs. We made him a very lucrative offer more than once. And they did him a solid by not franchising him again. They let him go test the market. They did him a solid. They say, hey, look, go out there, see what kind of money you get. All we ask is if you come back with an offer and see if we can match it. If we can't, good luck with your future endeavors. Was he our most popular Giant? Yes. Was he our best offensive player? Yes. But he was our best offensive player for a team that was not built in the trenches. So would you rather have the Saquon Barkley that comes with the clout, comes with all the praise and everything, but we still have a horrible offensive line because the money that we could have signed with Luminor and Runyon would have went to Barkley?
I would definitely pray for your victims too, though. Don't worry.
Right.
You don't want to eat sushi. Try some sake, some hot sake.
Hey, I heard, yeah, that sake be fire.
She get fucked up.
Man, what? But like, would you rather have a better offensive line than Devin Singletary, or would you rather have the same offensive line in Barkley and go through the same shit over and over and over again?
Watch that man career go to waste.
Yeah. There's no reason why in 6 years with the Giants, Barkley only had 3 1,000-yard seasons. Saquon Barkley should be 1,000-yard back every year. If you got an offensive line that's worth something, sometimes you gotta take the good with the bad, man. Hey, look, we might be a better team because we let Saquon Barkley go, because we're able to get our offensive line corrected, and now we're able to call better plays. We're able to run better. We're able to pass better. We're able to waste time better and use clock management better. We're able to pick up short third downs better. We're able to move the ball better in the red zone. We might be a better red zone team because we let Barkley go. Is this bashing Barkley and saying he's not a good player? No, this is just saying, hell, sometimes you might lose a good person, but you might get better because you're able to shore up other things with the team. That's all we're saying. I do wish him the best until he plays against us those 2 games, or maybe even 3. Those games, I hope he gets knocked out. But it just is what it is with that situation. Tudo, he says, Pat, Lou, unfortunately, we can't stay here and ride with you last tonight. We're in team restrictions and curfew before upcoming test balls. God's blessings and grace to everybody. All right, Tudo, have a good night, bro. Some other people are in here. I guess that's the Brooklyn, New York. He says teams' defense aren't going to be able to plan for Saquon Barkley anymore. No more stacking the box. Yeah, that's true. It just depends. I think it opens up a lot of things if our offensive line is blocking better. What's going on? The real Multi. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button for us. He says, man, it was nice knowing Barkley. Yeah, that's true. Mark Stewart, what's going on, bro? Appreciate you tuning in. Wales says Jets almost snagged John Runyon from us. You could tell from this documentary the G-Men are serious about protecting QB. That's a fact. That's a fact. They are very serious about protecting the QB. Marlon Jackson, what's going on? He says exactly. He's not here. Time to move on. Let's concentrate on the players we have now. Exactly, brother. That's a fact.
Smash. Period. We're building. I think we have a good foundation. We're going to add a few more pieces to the offense as far as running back, tight end. We're going to add a few more pieces at linebacker, maybe another edge rusher. And this team is going to be serious, bro.
Mm-hmm. So, speaking of the quarterback, what's going on 365 Giants? He says, "What's up, Joe? Made some great decisions." Yes, he did. Yeah, he made some excellent decisions. And I'm actually proud of this organization
Tough
for
ones,
able to
too.
come on here and show us the decisions that they were making. So let's talk about this, the next subject.
And confirm a lot of things we've said, too,
Facts, a
before the
whole
show
lot
came
of
out.
things. A whole lot of things we said has been confirmed, but they ain't gonna give us our props. It's all good.
Oh,
Um,
haven't seen him in a minute.
Heavyweight champ. He says, "Woo! G-Man should never waste a two on a running back. They could have traded down and gotten Quentin Williams and more picks. MF and Saquon, 12-5 Super Bowl. DJ getting 5 years, 300 milli. Woo!"
Woo!
But let's talk about another subject that everybody was talking about. And it turns out that the Giants may have been interested in a quarterback, but it's not the quarterback everybody was talking about. It wasn't Drake May, it was Jaden Daniels. The question was asked to Brian Daboll from Joe Shane, would you be comfortable if we traded up for Jaden Daniels? Traded up to 2 for Jaden Daniels. Now, what I would say is that question is kind of weird because everybody knew the Washington Commanders were taking Jaden Daniels at number 2, and we would have had to trade up with the Commanders in order to get Jaden Daniels. So, how true is that? I don't know, man. How true you think that is, Lou? Because considering the situation that you would have had to be in order to trade up for Jaden Daniels, the Commanders.
Depends on what kind of trade. Because if they
Yeah.
was putting DJ in that trade,
Can y'all
if
hear
they
me?
was involving, if they was
What's going on,
involving
Jay Lay?
DJ in that trade and a few picks, that might be something that the Commanders would have been willing to do.
I was questioning when they was going through. What up, y'all? First of all, what's up, everybody?
What's going on, Jay Lay?
You got to come in the room and speak. You know what I'm saying? Hey, how y'all doing? But if y'all remember, it was back when this whole draft thing was going on. I was always questioning why people, because everybody was talking about Drake May and Caleb Williams and even JJ McCarthy. And I was like, why aren't people saying anything about Jaden Daniels? He's a Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, the kid plays at LSU. And a lot of people were just like, "Oh, I don't know why they didn't." But it seems like Daboll had the same idea. Like he would have traded up for him. And nobody was saying trade up for Jaden Daniels. I think it just shows us a lot that we can all speculate and everything, but we don't know what these people is doing. I mean, we have our good guesses. Some of the stuff we were right. I was partially right about the Jaden Daniels. You guys were right about a whole bunch of stuff. And other people write about something, but whoever wanted J.J. McCarthy was fucking wrong. We haven't heard his name. All Hard Knocks. Yes. They didn't even ask about it. What'd you think?
Yeah, they didn't mention him at all. And everybody said, well, J.J. McCarthy can be a Giant at 6. Man, they said, hell no, who?
Arthur. The Cowboys coach.
So they coach the Cowboys. You can't draft him. Hey, shout out to the real Multi. He says, I will be in MetLife Stadium October 20th for Giants versus Eagles, and in MetLife December 15th. Hey, that's my birthday. They got to win that game.
3rd.
Yeah, we're going to be there November 3rd, but they play on my birthday, so they got to win that game. Giants versus Ravens. First time watching our boys play live. I can't wait. That's a fact. But yeah, that is true. Doja, what's good, Doja? Good to see you, brother.
Doja.
What happened to your mic?
You hear
You
me?
said my mic? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Yeah, Jake, like you right as shit. They have not. They didn't mention Bo Nix. They didn't mention
Oh,
McCarthy or Michael Penix.
hey, and I'm a Ducks fan. I'm from Oregon. They ain't say shit about Bo Nix.
So I
Hey,
think Jaden Daniels was the guy that they would have took if they would have went quarterback.
yeah,
But it looks like some of those rumors were true. They were interested in trading up for a quarterback.
yeah.
So when they knew that they couldn't get the quarterback that they wanted, plan B was to get DJ a weapon and let DJ play out maybe his last year with the New York Giants on this contract if we can't get some things rolling this year. And when you're a GM, you have to have multiple plans. You can't just be all your eggs in one basket because you don't know how the draft can fall.
Yeah, that's what he was saying too. He was like, "Man, we spent months and months being up till 5 o'clock in the morning to have these names on the board, and you have no control over
Right.
what's about to go on." That was just free agency. That wasn't even talking about.
That's some nerve wracking shit when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You
You
do all
do
this
all that
planning and all
planning
this
and
studying,
everything.
and the shit can go completely left from what you had
Man,
pictured.
And it happened with two of the people that they were trying to target in free agency. They didn't plan for the Jets to offer Runyon more guaranteed money and a million more than what his market was. They didn't plan for light skinned Jermaine to get a huge offer from the Cardinals. They thought they was going to be able to get light skinned Jermaine for $5 million, and the Cardinals offered him $7 million.
hey, but one of the best things that I heard that gave me the most promise about this whole regime is that when they asked him, when Joe Shane sat him and Dave Baldell, when they were sat down, I was like, okay, what is our most important thing? First thing which is obvious, he said offensive line, interior to be exact. And I mean, they went out there and they did that. They got somebody that could play the inside and outside, and then another guy that's a straight inside guy. I mean, you can't force people to trade with you, or you can't what I'm saying. If somebody else is offering something else, you can't help that. People think like it's just like Madden, and you can just turn off the what I'm saying, the cap and just start drafting people.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about another plan that they may have, but they haven't said it yet. With the signing of light skinned Jermaine, and they signed actually two starting guards in Sidham and Runyon. Do you believe that Evan Neal's leash is extremely short this year?
Yeah.
Because why would you sign two starting guards? That Stidham dude was a starter for the Buccaneers, and he could have went and got a starting job anywhere, but he came to the Giants. So what was said to that man about the offensive line? Alex, what's going on, Alex?
Yeah, what's up, Pat?
Like,
Alex.
what was said to those guys? What was said to Jermaine Illuminor? Because we brought over his offensive line coach, and he is the coach that actually put light-skinned Jermaine in his best position, which is right tackle. So do you believe that our O-line coach said, yeah, go get Jermaine Illuminor so we can put him in another position that he's not at his best? So my thinking about this, the more I think about it, is that Evan Neal's leash is extremely short.
Man.
And if he struggles like he has been struggling,
Bye.
I do believe they will put light-skinned Jermaine at right tackle rather quick. Because
Good.
because in episode 2, you can see how pissed Joe Shane was about the offensive line giving up 85 sacks. And I don't believe they think they can afford another year of lackluster offensive line play. So if he struggles, do they bench him immediately? Do we even see Evan Neal start the season? I don't know. What you think about it, Alex? And then we're going to go to Lou and Jay Lay.
I think the Giants have to make a very vast decision. That vast decision is, and I know we've been talking the last few weeks, and pretty much the last few months about Neal. What is he going to play, a guard or tackle? The Giants, in my opinion, in the position they're in with Dable, Shane, whoever you want to call it, I think they're going to have to play him at one position, and that's it. You can't afford to move him around and just say, oh, yeah, we're going to try him at guard and this, that, and the third and wait on the project of that. I think it's a very pivotal year for this regime. And as you mentioned, the leash is already short. So if they believe he's a better tackle, then they're going to have to play him a tackle. I just don't think that, regardless of my thoughts, I just don't think that it's going to be in the time frame for the Giants to cross-train him. So however you think of Evan Neal, they're going to have to slot him in at one spot. It can't be both.
Pause.
So you're saying if Evan Neal doesn't progress at tackle the way he's supposed to, are you saying that they just need to bench him?
I think that would be the best case scenario for the regime, in my personal opinion, because, again, doing the musical chairs experiment of, okay, well, now we know he's not good at tackle, even though we've been looking at this for 2.5 years. Let's switch him over to guard. I mean, that's not going to bode well for the offensive line. That's not going to bode well for Daniel Jones. So that's just going to have to be, as I said, whether they believe he's a good tackle or a even better guard, make the decision and stick with it.
I don't even think that that's the issue right now. Sorry to interrupt. I think the issue is we haven't seen him get any work. He's still coming back off that injury, so we don't even know if he's learned. He may have learned mentally, but is his body able to hold up at this point? Is the injury healed? What are we gonna? Are you probably going to FanFest this week or this year?
Well, I mean, I don't know if they're having legitimate fan fest, but if you're asking if I'm going to training camp, yeah, I will be there, and I will also be there on the first day, so I'll get to see what happens.
That's what I'm interested in. How is he dealing with the injury, the rehab, the recovery? Has he progressed? Are they asking something different of him with the new O-line coach? That's where the only hope I have left now, as far with Evan Neal, is maybe the O-line coach has a better approach, a better fit for him, a better way to use him, or a better way to coach him up and get him up to speed. Because that's all I can really hope for at this point with Evan Neal.
That's a fact. J-Lay, what you think, J-Lay?
I think, man, Evan Neal's on the shortest of leashes, because he can't go out there and just be giving up sacks, 2 and 3 sacks every game and not even giving up sacks, but just getting abused. Like when you go back and look at him on tape, he's just like this direction, and there's everybody just running out. It's not like he's just getting overpowered, or he's just completely not there. Like he's not in the spot that he needs to be in. And so if he starts doing that, man, I mean, Daboll's job is, and this year is going to be able to tell you, because if we go, what was you saying in your video earlier, Pat? That they say we're going to be 3-14 or something like that.
Yeah.
And we'll go 3-14. Daboll's
Holy shit.
Yeah, they said that we're gonna be 3-14.
Yeah, so
and we're gonna have 2 7-game losing streaks.
They dyslexic. Listen, I said 11-6 last year. We went 6-11. They saying 14. They saying 3-14. That means we going 14-3, baby.
See, with that, he's not going to let us win. Evan Neal's not going to make it 7 games of losing if he's doing terrible.
Oh, nah. 3 games of you bad playing, your ass gone.
Out of there. And I wouldn't be mad if it was Andrew Thomas, Runyon, Schmitz, Stinney, and Illuminor. That doesn't
I
sound
think that's our best lineup.
that doesn't sound bad.
I'm going to be straight. My bad, Jalen. My bad.
No, you good. I mean, you just going off what I said.
Yeah, I'm going to be straightforward with you guys in the chat. Shout out to Tony the Giants fan. I'm going to answer that question for you here soon, Tony Giants fan. Hit that like and subscribe button for all of us.
Yeah, man.
Red Fox, what's going on? But Yeah, that's our best lineup. And guess what? When you mention Evan Neal, NYG shows up. So I don't know if you heard me earlier. You probably did.
Good call. Good call. Good call.
Right. Based on what I'm analyzing, they didn't sign Steny to be a backup, really, because that dude could have went anywhere and could have been a starting guard, but he came here. And then we brought over light-skinned Jermaine's offensive line coach, and he was the coach that said, hey, he would be better at right tackle. So what kind of sense does it make to bring Illuminor over here with him? And then he puts him in a position that he struggled earlier in his career.
Illuminor gonna be that right tackle, fellas. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I'm
so
telling you.
hey, J-Lay, you muted.
You muted. Unmute yourself, sir. There you go.
I don't need to mean to interrupt you, but I mean that's why they did it. And they're not gonna. That was Evan Neal was their pick, one of their first picks. Kayvon and Evan Neal, that was their first year, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So that was one of their first picks. It was a top pick. It was a top. Well, they picked him at number 7. So they're not gonna just, oh, he was bad and kick him out. They're gonna say, yes, it's his job. We're gonna start Evan Neal, and they're gonna let his play, which they already probably have a good idea of how he's gonna play. And so once he starts playing bad, it won't look bad of them for them benching him or taking him out or having somebody else doing it, because we're just gonna be happy that problem is fixed, if it is fixed. If he starts messing up, and then we switch everything around with Steny and Illuminor, and we actually start doing well, and we actually get protection time, nobody's gonna bat an eye at it. But if they do it before the season even starts, they're gonna be like, well, what did we waste the pick for anyway? You guys already knew, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna complain like they always do.
Facts. So NYG, talk to me, man.
Yo, what's good with y'all, man?
So
Appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for tapping in. Y'all hit that like button in the chat. Look, man. Evan Neal is I mean, this is it, man. This is it, man. You cannot play games. You know what I'm saying? Illuminor was the top target of the offensive lineman in free agency. You didn't bring him over here to throw him in out of position at guard. You know, you brought him in here to basically be Evan Neal's shield, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know that kid ain't got it. He ain't got it.
Got it.
He does not have it, and you cannot play games in this critical of a season on this offensive line. We all know the offensive line is what's going to dictate the success of the New York Giants this year. I don't care how you feel about Daniel Jones. I don't care how you feel about Saquon Barkley not being there. I don't care how you feel about the receivers. It's going to come down to the offensive line. You cannot play games with Evan Neal at right tackle. You know, when you have a very, very capable replacement. They even said it. They didn't even mention this dude's name in Hard Knocks. We already know what time it is, yo.
Damn, that is true.
He's done. He's fucking done, man. And I don't want to be right about this. Trust me, y'all. Coach. I do not want to be right about this. I hope I'm wrong, man, but my instincts tells me that it's a wrap for Evan Neal. You know what I'm saying? Unless he comes in camp and just has a complete 180 and is just dominating, I think it's over. You cannot play games anymore. Enough's enough. They said they bought that dude in here to be the right tackle. They said they bought Runyon in here to be the left guard.
Evan Flowers.
Little Bulldozer called him Evan Neal. That's what the edge rushers are saying. His name is Evan Neal.
Yeah, that's how DeMarcus Lawrence is feeling right now. Like, do we really want to relive this moment? I mean, my God. Enough is enough, man. You know, they can laugh at Joe Shane all he wants. But the one miss I think Joe Shane has on his record right now is Evan Neal. And bro, just let it go. He ain't that dude. I'm sorry. Just let it fucking go.
That might not have been Joe Shane though. That might have been the dude that Bobby Johnson wanted.
It could have been.
Could been.
Yeah,
but
but
again,
Dable hired him, so that's an
Yeah,
infliction.
no, I
on
mean
him.
ultimately it's still on Shane, but I'm saying it might not have been the guy he wanted. It might have just been.
I think they wanted Aquanu. I mean, but again, he's not doing great either. So I mean,
turned out to be the better one out of the three.
yeah, he's the best one. Obviously, man. But again, you win some, you lose some, but you live. You live to fight another day. You know what I'm saying? So just live and move the fuck on from this dude already, and let's get this O line straight.
You think you're a man with that gun in their hands, don't you?
Right.
A man without.
Right. We a team without him.
Right. Facts.
We're going to win without him.
Right.
You the man with that bum at right tackle, don't you?
Right.
We gonna win without him.
Come on, Neil. Come on, Neil.
Kick step, Neil. Kick step, Neil.
Iman said, that's a female.
Right.
Alex, you have no idea what we're talking about, huh?
Not a slightest idea.
Right, man. That's the movie Friday, man. What a classic.
Debo and Craig was fighting.
Yeah. Hey, but let me answer this question for Tony, the Giants fan, real quick. He says, I know we need help at the cornerback 2 position. Do you guys think Xavier Howard is the answer? They will not touch Xavier Howard. I can't say his legal troubles on YouTube because you'll get canceled, but they're not going to save Xavier Howard. I believe, right.
He said he likes to eat grapes.
Right. But I want to see what Cordell Flock can do. Hey, listen.
I don't want him on our team.
You gotta let your talent develop. You gotta let him sink or swim sometimes. And Cordell Flock is heading into his 3rd season, and after this season, he'll be up for a contract after next season if we keep him. So you gotta know what you got in Cordell Flock. I want to see what he can do. The only quarterback that I think they would actually go after is Gilmore, but Gilmore wants to play for a Super Bowl contender, and obviously everybody says we're not one. So
we are.
He won't be coming to the New York Giants. That's a fact. So I just want to see what Cordell Flock can do, to be honest with you. But that was the whole offensive line thing. That was just something that I was thinking about. When you really look at the moves and you really pay attention to the moves, I believe the best starting lineup for this team, unless Evan Neal shows like NYG says does a complete 180, is Andrew Thomas, Andrew Thomas, Runyon, John Michael Schmitz, Stenny, and light-skinned Jermaine at right tackle. I believe that's our best offensive line, and I will actually feel kind of confident in that offensive line, to be honest with you. That would stop my questions with this offensive line. Not saying they're going to be great, but I will have confidence that they can go out there and be an NFL caliber offensive line. Go ahead, Alex.
So I got a question, but I would also say with your lineup, I'd make a slight maneuver. I'd probably put Stinney at left guard and Runyon at right, because I feel like Stinney, not that he's bad, but he's like a little bit weaker than the rest, and then him playing next to Thomas probably does well. But I do want to ask, because I know obviously I was away for a few weeks, but I was watching the recap of y'all's stream, and I know you and NYG were beefing a little bit about Evan Neal. Why? Just curious, as I said, it seems like you made a progression towards Evan Neal not being like I would say a link on the offensive line rather than just to have him experienced, unless you're saying still give him a shot.
No, I'm saying give him a shot. I'm not going off that stance because he's the number 7 overall pick for you. I do believe you have to give him some games. Now, the only thing me and NYG disagreed on was the amount, well, basically how long his leash should be. Pause.
2 games.
NYG said he doesn't even want him to play. And I was saying, well, damn, you got to give him a little bit of time. But I said during that time that I believe that would be our best offensive lineup with Stenny at left or right guard and light-skinned Jermaine at right tackle. I feel a lot more confident with that line. And I don't care who you are, you in the back of your mind, you know that's a better lineup than what Neil is in there, because Neil has shown that he's shown that he's not even good enough to be able to be in position to push the edge away from the quarterback. Let's say you can be on the edge, but you can push him out to where your quarterback can step up. He's allowing these dudes to get in there like they're getting in from the middle of the field. So that's my issue with Evan Neal. You can have a tackle that's not that good, but as long as he can push that guy past the quarterback and he can step up in the pocket, that helps out a lot. But he's not even showing that. He got DeMarcus Lawrence looking like one of the best edge rushers in the league every time he plays.
Bruh.
The BKNYC 85. I think that is a good answer. He said training camp and preseason at best to see, but I agree he should be benched. That's what preseason and training camp is for. And no scrimmage game. Put his ass in there in the scrimmage. Who we doing with Cleveland this year?
No, we're doing it with the Jets and the Lions.
The Jets and the Lions, yeah.
So Aiden Hutchinson and Bryce Huff. I think they signed Bryce Huff.
Huff's for the Eagles. So it's let's see. Lions, that's Hutchinson. The Jets, it's Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald, and Hassan Reddick.
Oh yeah, and Hassan Reddick be eating his lunch too when we play the Eagles. And let me say this, man. A lot of the times NYG does say things. Shout out to TG1. He said this O-line got to be better than last year. If it gets worse, somebody gonna die.
Yeah. I mean, you literally have to just lay down.
Right.
Like you just have to.
But a lot of the time NYG says some things, and that's why his name is unpopular opinion. But when you go back and look at some of his opinions, the motherfuckers be coming true, bro. And it's wild, man. And this opinion might come true too. We might not see Evan Neal play a snap this season.
This is exactly why the Big Blue Crew Sports Network do what we do. We tell you who's going to get drafted. We tell you unpopular opinions. We tell you knockouts in what round. We tell you season games, how it's going to go. I mean, listen, you don't get this content nowhere else. And we don't even charge you guys. It's free. All we ask is that you hit the thumbs up button, the subscribe button, maybe share it on your other social media platforms, hit the bell notification, and enjoy the fucking content. Don't be a ninja watcher. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's all we ask. Don't come in here with the negativity and the dumb fuckery. Then we can enjoy sports talk, even if we disagree. But we are the most accurate sports crew on social media, hands down. Hands down.
A lot of our takes be coming true, whether people want to give us our credit or not.
Yeah,
shit be coming true. Like we are literally on live predicting draft picks. Like Diilla, what's going on, Diilla? Appreciate you, bro. He says just hit the thumbs up as I came in. What's up, everyone? What's going on, Diilla? And shoot, we grown men on here. Me and Diilla, we don't agree on everything. Sometimes we don't agree on hardly anything sometimes when we speak, but he always comes in. He's always respectful. And that's what we like over here, man. Respectful people that want to talk real football and real Giants talk.
And not get all butthurt and start insulting you when you have a different of opinion.
Yeah. Facts. So here's the next thing I want to talk about. We all know that there's a former GM out there by the name of Michael Lombardi. And Michael Lombardi went on Pat McAfee's show and said that the New York Giants have no identity whatsoever. And Joe Shane and Brian Daboll pretty much he summed it up, said they can't build a team. He says, we're not building a team, we're just signing players. So I want the panel to talk about that real quick. Go ahead, Lou. I'll let you go first as you wave your hand. Ooh, I got the answer. I got the answer.
I agree that the New York Giants do not have an identity.
I actually agree with that too. On
This is
offense.
not going to be the same team that you saw last year offensively. It's going to be completely different plays, different schemes, different stuff drawn up because now you have a true number one receiver, a threat, a weapon that defenses have to plan for. If Jalen Hyatt takes that step up, now you have a number two. Wandale, I believe, is going to be a breakout slot receiver this year. Bellinger is flying under the radar. A lot of people looking at Theo and everything else, and I think Bellinger is going to be Daniel Jones' security blanket. Aside from Slayton, Bellinger has the most familiarity with Daniel Jones. So this offense is going to be completely different than what we saw last season. We have a revamped O-line. No forcing the ball to Saquon, our star offensive player, no more. So this offense is going to look completely different. So I agree that we don't have an identity offensively. Also, we're going to play a completely different defense than we played under Wink Martindale. Down just front four rush as opposed to blitzing all the time. So that defense, you kind of see on paper what kind of identity it's going to look like if it plays out the way it's supposed to. Offensively, I think we're going to be one of the most prolific and exciting football teams to watch this year. I believe we're going to be the greatest show on turf, Big Blue version. I've been saying that for a long time now, but I think that he's right on we do not have an identity, but he is completely wrong on Joe Shane and Dable don't know how to build a team. Because if he remembers what we looked like when they first came in here and what the roster looks like now, it's night and day. And if you can't see that, you need glasses, contacts, LASIK, or you're just an ignorant ass. And that's all I got to say about that.
All right. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I do believe we have identity on defense, but I'll explain that a little after you guys go. Go ahead, NYG, then we're gonna go to Alex and then Jay Lay.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are right. Lou's right. We do not have a offensive identity. I've been saying this for a while now. Basically,
Shit, we all have.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it seemed like they started to develop an identity in 2022, and then they went away from that. And to me, yeah, it is about the offense. But we don't have an identity on defense either. We have a new defensive coordinator. So we are still trying to figure that out as well. So not having an identity does not mean you're going to be a bad football team. It just means they don't know what you're going to do. That's it. And that can be a good thing, or it can be a bad thing, if things go left. But right, Lou. So it's not one of these things to where, it's just the unknown. That's all we are right now. The Giants are unknown. People that want to say we're this horrible football team. I mean, it's just it's missing. It's disingenuous. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not. That's not real. Because again, we weren't the worst team last year. So how are we going to go into this year with upgrades and somehow we got worse? It's just a bunch of BS media narratives. You already know what it is, man. But again, this Giants team is going to go as this offensive line goes. That's just what it is. And that's why, Pat says it repeatedly. I say it repeatedly. Lou says it repeatedly. And a bunch of the rest of us on the Big Blue crew is that, it's this offensive line is going to make the team. That's why the Evan Neal thing is so critical. And that's why these trolls are saying, oh, the Giants are bad because of the quarterback. But we all know that's a bunch of BS. It's bullshit.
It's going to be the Neighbors and Danny show.
Right.
Yeah, man. Facts. Malik Neighbors is gonna make this thing go, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Exciting, yeah.
Yeah, they haven't seen it yet. They haven't seen it. They're just basing shit off last year, man.
Get your fantasy teams ready, folks.
Right.
You damn right. But go ahead, Alex. You got it.
So I mean, I've begun to take a different perspective in terms of a couple of different things with the Giants.
Pause.
Well, this is the mic cover, but nonetheless, I just feel like what Mike Lombardi says is nonsense, and he's kind of a hypocrite because he talks about not that the Giants should be warranting too many positive narratives, but he's talking about Dable and Shane not knowing how to build a team. Well, I mean, wasn't Lombardi a GM for the Browns for a few years? Yeah, I think we know that with the answer to that one.
How many first round picks did they have?
Yeah. So someone else ought to look up his draft history. But nonetheless, as far as the identity thing, I don't think it's completely a bad thing. My hat does have a brim; it's just on the back, a little bulldozer. But nonetheless, I don't think not having an identity is a bad thing because you don't have a lot of things, to catch on film. I think the Giants will definitely be a different offense this year. Malik Neighbors being the number one prize possession. Whether they'll be good or not, I'm actually not going to say because guess what? Last year they had me when all the Darren Waller stuff came out, and we saw what that happened. How that happened. But the defense, it's going to be different. Obviously, coached differently, and special teams is going to be coached differently. So I don't think it's a bad thing that they don't have an identity. But I'm kind of half-sighted with this report, with this remark of they can't build the team. Because there are certain things that, they have been able to do and certain guys they've been able to find. But in another sense, yeah, it is true because they've only had 1 year of winning and some of last year was definitely on roster management. So that's just at least my opinion on the matter.
And that's a very good opinion. And I do not agree with Michael Lombardi says. Jay-Lay, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Talk to us.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's right.
Yeah, because Pat's going to sleep on us and trying to use us to fill the gap. Pause.
Okay.
Major pause. That was crazy. But we don't have an identity. But I mean, we're a new team. We have a new defensive coordinator. Our players are all young, but for him to say that they don't know how to build a team, I mean, well, what is the stereotypical way that everybody says that you're supposed to build a team? Through the trenches, right? That's how you're supposed to build a team. The most moves that Joe, Shane, and Dable have made have been in the offensive and defensive line. They haven't been out there just, going crazy really on defense, but most of their transactions have been on the offensive and defensive line. That's where they made, spent the most money at, especially with getting Brian Burns. So I don't agree with them. I just think it's shit that people say. It's it's New York, so they're gonna always have an opinion about something. They haven't been here long enough to even know if they know how to build the team or not. I mean, they did pretty good in Buffalo because what was Buffalo doing before them? I mean, they weren't the main attraction, but they were definitely part of the process. But I don't know. I think we gotta wait and see. I'm not gonna sit here and say that we're gonna be all this great undefeated team, but I think we're definitely better. I think we're definitely better, and I think that just because Saquon left doesn't mean that we got worse. I mean, yeah, we lost a superstar and a great player, but if we would have kept him, we wouldn't have got the offensive line pieces. We wouldn't have gotten Brian Burns. I mean, we wouldn't have been a better team. We're a better team now than we was with Saquon there. Saquon isn't going to play a full season. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. I think go Big Blue and fuck the rest. That's what I think.
Yeah, right. Right. But yeah. I think Michael Lombardi, I think he's a little bit salty that he can't get into another GM position role with any team. He's been trying to get a GM job for about a decade now. Like, he failed miserably when he was a GM. And he's the one to talk about us. But the ideals that he said about being a GM come from us. Talking about the Bill Parcells and Ernie Accorsi's and the Tom Coughlins. He got a lot of his information from them. And so is he correct about this team not having an identity on offense? He absolutely is. For one, I'll always say this: we have to get back to our roots, man. And that's running the ball to set up the pass. I think we have another quarterback that's extremely good at play action and throwing the ball deep, whether you want to believe it or not. When we have that running game going as a franchise, you look through all our franchise when we were winning, we were a run the ball first team with multiple backs, and the quarterback was very good at distributing the ball through play action and getting the ball deep to the receivers.
Giants football.
Right. And when you look it up, every time we got away from that, when we did it in the 60s and 70s, we were horrible. When we did it in the mid 90s, we were horrible. And now that we've gotten away from it since the whole Odell Beckham draft and after the second Super Bowl, we are horrible. Every time we get away from our way, we lose, and we lose consistently, and we don't start winning again till we get back to where we were, what we are, and what we will always be. When you have an identity and it works, you don't mess with it. Will you have some years where you're not as good as what you were? Yeah. But long as you keep being consistent, eventually it's going to come back and we're going to win again. And it's been shown. That's why we get one every decade. We get a Super Bowl every decade. That's a hell of a trend because no other team can say that. We're the only team to say since the 80s we've gotten a Super Bowl in every decade. And every time we get back to being true to ourselves and knowing who we are and not worry about what people saying in the media, oh, you gotta put up 38 points a game. You gotta throw the ball. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. And when we get away from getting after the quarterback, when we get away from not having an offensive line, our trenches are very good. When we get away from not running the ball and controlling the clock and dictating what the defense could do against us, we get our ass whooped every time. You want to know why? Because that's not NFC East football. Now, can these guys switch it up and turn us into the greatest show on turf, Big Blue Edition? Yeah, but I guarantee you running the ball is going to have to be a major part of it because in the division we play in. We don't play in a division where everything is scot-free and you're not getting pressure on the quarterback. So your offensive line can be mediocre, but you're not facing good pass rushes in your division. And you can go out there and put up major points. We're not in a division like that. If our offensive line is garbage, guess what? They're going to whoop your ass and they're going to keep kicking your ass. So he's right in that point, but I do believe we have identity on defense. We just ain't showed it yet. I don't think they're going to get after the quarterback this year. And I do believe they're going to get themselves another edge rusher after these cuts. Just to be honest with you. And this guy here, Malik Neighbors, I think this dude, man, is going to be crazy exciting for the New York Giants this year. And we can talk about this a little bit. This guy, Malik Neighbors, man, have y'all watched Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson play? Like, really watch how they run routes and watch how they go about their business. I think this dude is a mix of both those guys. I think he's a mix of both those guys, man. If you watch the way Justin Jefferson runs his routes, he's deceptively fast, and he's a lanky type receiver. And so when he moves, it's like you don't know where he's going to go because that's the best receiver in football, man. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. That's the best receiver in football. And I don't think it's real close. Because the way he runs his routes, you can't determine where he's going. And it's the same thing with Jamar Chase, except Jamar Chase has more power in the way he plays. And I think Malik Neighbors has that same style Jamar Chase has, but he has a little bit of that wiggle that Justin Jefferson has when I watch him play. And if this offensive line blocks, that dude is going to be one hard of a cover for any DB that goes against him, man. And to be honest with you, he hasn't even got his grown man football strength yet. So when he gets that strength and you try to jam him out the line, you're not going to be able to do anything with him because he's just going to push you off and get into his route. And when he stacks you, you don't know where he's going.
To the end zone.
Basically, yeah. To the end zone, to first down. Wherever he wants to go, that's where he's going.
He goes to the bank.
And another thing that's going to make Lou's prediction correct. No, that's Alex. That ain't Kid Blue. That's Big Blue in the Bronx, Miguel. Another thing that's going to make this prediction come true is if this kid, Jalen Hyatt, develops a route running system for him. You keep him in motion. Don't allow him to get touched at the line of scrimmage. And if he gets to where he starts to plant and you don't know where he's going, it's a wrap because he's too fast.
He's fast as hell.
Yeah, people don't know how fast the NFL really is. That dude puts a move on you and you don't know where he's going, that's an automatic catch. As long as your quarterback is protected.
He'll get 5 to 7 yards in front of you before you even blink.
Facts. So his double moves are going to be more devastating. His slants are going to be more devastating because now in the back of your mind as a DB, oh, these are the new Giants. My D line is not going to be able to get in there with 3 like a blitz. I'm going to have to cover. And if our quarterback, DJ, whoever the damn quarterback is, has time to get the ball to these receivers, it's a wrap because Wan'Dale Robinson's the same fucking way.
So I was just about to say, Pat, with Wan'Dale Robinson, you're gonna be able to get yards after the catch. You know, I be looking at Wan'Dale Robinson and Amon-Ra St. Brown of the Browns. I mean the Lions in a similar type way. The way they move Brown around, you know what I'm saying? That's what they're gonna do with Wan'Dale Robinson. The way you see the Chiefs, I mean not the Chiefs, but the Dolphins move Tyreek Hill around. The way you see the 49ers move Deebo Samuel around like that. They're going to be able to do that with Wan'Dale and Malik Neighbors too. But Wan'Dale Robinson is going to open up this offense. He's going to open up the deep passes down the field. He's going to open up the middle of the field for guys like Bellinger and Slayton and whoever else. I mean, this guy's going to be the key to this offense. I'm telling you. He's going to unlock this shit, man. Wan'Dale Robinson, man. Breakout player of the year.
I think that kid gets 1,000 yards this year. I do. Because we're going to have to depend on him earlier in the season because we're going to have to let Neighbors come into his own. We're going to have to let Hyatt come into his own. But Wan'Dale Robinson, he's ready to go right now. And we're going to depend. Huh?
I was reading the name. Papa Crawdaddy Band.
Yeah, he comes in here a lot too. What's going on, bro? But we're going to have to depend on him to keep those chains moving. And yeah, you keep getting the ball and getting those chains moving and you're able to get yards after the catch, you can see him have a 5-catch, 115-yard game because he caught the ball and ran off on people. Yeah, Neighbors most definitely. But Lou, I want you to elaborate on why you say that we're going to be the greatest show on turf, Big Blue edition. That's what I'm thinking, but what are you thinking how it's going to happen?
The reason I believe so is because now you can't pin your ears back and straight blitz and hope to get the DJ, and you can't predict that they're just going to hand the ball to Saquon. So we're no longer predictable. One. Two, you have no film on us on what our offense is going to look like. Three, now with a weapon like Malik Neighbors, you have to plan for him. You have to plan for Wan'Dale Robinson. You don't know what this revamped offensive line looks like. So now you have to worry about Theo Johnson, right? And Tyrone Tracy. DJ as well, slipping out of the back and running and breaking one. So you have so many weapons that you have to plan for that unless you have an elite defense on every level, it's going to be hard to stop us. As long as the coaching and the play calling is done right, it's hard to stop us. You have too many fast guys. Okay, look, even if Jalen Hyatt doesn't take the leap that we need him to, you still have Darius Slayton, who is very fast, who even if he only catches 75% of the targets thrown to him, you have to cover him, because if he does catch it, he's gone. So it's too many weapons that you have to plan for. And I think DJ has a chip on his shoulder, and he has a point to prove. And I think with Dable calling the plays instead of Kafka, it's going to be totally different. And the New York Giants are going to come out here and shock the shit out of everybody. And I personally can't wait.
Right. Just my thoughts. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button for us. He says, don't forget about Slade. He cooking up this year. He did it when Wan'Dale was getting healthy. That's a fact. I think he's going to be a problem too. And let me elaborate a little bit more what I'm saying, what I'm actually thinking on how it could work out. Let's just say this offensive line is legit. We're a top 17, 18 offensive line, which is good. You're not allowing your quarterback to get killed every play.
Thank God.
If that offensive line allows us to spread you out, pause, and you have to, to worry. And let's just say Wan'Dale Robinson is hitting on all cylinders. Are you willing to leave your slot defender on Wan'Dale Robinson one-on-one all game? I don't believe so. Eventually, you're going to have to bracket that little dude because he's eating you alive. He's keep getting first down after first down after first down. Number two, when Neighbor starts to get into his own, you may have to double him, because if he starts working on your DB and he's putting those moves on him like Jagger, and he's catching the ball and he's getting gas plays, okay, now we got to stop that. But we still got to worry about Wan'Dale Robinson eating us up, getting quick first downs as well. Now you have a monster, either Hyatt or Slayton, that could get the ball deep over the top at ease anytime he feels like it, because that's their game. So what if he's good enough to where he can beat one-on-one coverage and you have to play somebody over the top? So now what are you going to do? You're going to have to go into zone. And guess what? If you're not getting that pressure, there's too many open windows in those zones, because our receivers can go anywhere they want to go. Neighbors can go in any window and settle down and catch the ball. Wan'Dale Robinson can go in any window and catch the ball. Hyatt can go over the top over a cover three if that DB has to come up to stop Wan'Dale Robinson when he gets past whoever the slot defender is, and now he's deep against one-on-one with your safety. That's not a good matchup unless you got one of the best safeties in the league. And then if all else fails, we got Theo Johnson or Bellinger. They can get in the middle of the field and sit in a window and get a quick first down. And even after that,
and our running back was a wide receiver. He can come out of the backfield and catch a quick pass.
Singletary, Gray, or Tyrone Tracy can do it. And even after that, let's say you're able to cover up everything, maybe even in the man-to-man. Guess what? DJ's legs come into play now. And if he's taking off, guess what? You're going to have to spy him, because you don't want him to keep taking off. Now you're taking an extra man out of coverage, and now they get to do more work to you. That's the greatest show on turf, Big Blue edition. If this offensive line blocks, I promise you, you're going to see a totally different offense from this team. And you're going to get to see exactly what DJ is for a fact this year. If this offensive line blocks, whether he's trash, garbage, whatever you want to call him, he's going to show you exactly what you are, and that's what you need to see. Because if your offensive line is continuously trash, you don't get to see what your quarterback really is because he can't do anything if he's not protected. But you let this offensive line protect this year, lose prediction will come true. I promise you that. But Alex, you got anything to say, or NYG?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything you just said. Wandale, Neighbors, Slayton. Hyatt, I think, needs to work on, what was it in college, his release?
Yeah, he cannot release off the line of scrimmage if he's being pressed.
So that's probably going to be one of the things he needs to work on with Mike Rowe or whoever.
What kind of man can't release when he's being pressed?
Man, pause, man.
Yeah, big pause there.
Right.
So in that case, Slayton probably starts off the year or whatever. But everything you just said, first of all, I very much think this is going to be a pass-first offense, which they're not running the ball first with Devin Singletary. Sorry to break it to anybody who thinks otherwise. But it's just so dependent on quarterback play on the offensive line. Because, you know, whether we talk about Evan Neal, Daniel Jones, or whoever, the Giants can be a solid team this year. I know solid's going to make a couple people mad, but I think the Giants can be a solid team this year if most things go right for them. Obviously, the opponents, this, that, and the other thing, that's a whole different story. But, you know, they have the pieces. They have the pieces. If Daniel Jones is not doing well and the offensive line's at least functionable, put in Drew Lock, and I think he could do solid. The problem with him is he just takes too many risks. But guess what? With the weapons we have, I don't think that's really an issue. And if it's an offensive line problem, then, you know, you're really done it. You really done it. You kind of stuck there. You could handle Runyon being an average guard or Illuminor being an average tackle or guard, but to me, the whole offensive line is kind of dependent on Evan Neal, but also you need Schmitz to do better with this new offensive line coach because he controls the protections and the signal calls to the line along with the quarterback. So those are my thoughts.
All right. Well, you know what, Alex? You don't make me mad when you have a different opinion than my 11-6 greatest show on turf, Big Blue edition. I don't get mad when people disagree with me. Most people disagree with me. I don't think like the average person.
He said most people would disagree.
You know what I'm saying? But that's no reason to get mad at people. I get mad when people come out here and get mad because they disagree and then start saying off the wall shit or getting disrespectful or just messing up the quality of the show, saying dumb shit. That's when I get upset. I can have a debate with people about anything that I disagree with them about and keep it respectful and civil and articulate my arguments and get my points and listen and understand your viewpoints. That's why we can do this. And it's not a bunch of yelling and screaming and people talking over each other. Because we have common sense, which is not so common anymore in 2024. You got a bunch of fucking... All right. NYG.
Yo.
He's driving?
Yeah, I'm driving.
Oh, there go the sirens. Red Fox says, wish I could still be as optimistic as you, Lou. Hilltop Mock says 4-13. Will says 11-6. Bookends 11-6. Just My Thought says Danny Dimes is our guy. Will says, "What are you guys' thoughts on the signing of the O line? Is it legit? Where is the weakness?" Alex, you want to take that one first?
See his thoughts on this. So Runyon is a better pass protector than he is a run blocker, which does tell you where this offense is shifting. Illuminor is solid at both. He's not some pro bowler, but I mean they didn't make the sexy moves on the offensive line, which is fine. Illuminor is solid again. Um, I think they just have to coach it right, and they can't baby Evan Neal. That's just my thing, right? If the dude
Right.
sucks out of camp, if he just doesn't work within the first few games, or it's training camp of the preseason, you got to pull the plug because
Yeah.
essentially you're kind of affecting the entire team. And when you need to find out if Daniel Jones is the problem or the offense or Evan Neal's the problem, you can't be sitting here waiting for your next move or this, that, and the third. Like you can't be sitting here just waiting on it. So you gotta go out there and just make the right decisions. But I said Runyon, solid, better pass protector than he is run blocker by far. I want to see how Schmitz does because a lot of people have not talked about that. I want to see how Schmitz gets better.
Okay. Jay Late,
You,
where do you think the weakness is on this? The
Evan
question.
Neal. Evan Neal is the weakness.
We know that NYG is gonna agree.
And I
You
was, and
already
then,
know.
I was screaming for Evan Neal. I mean, went to Bama. He's 10 foot tall. He could jump on boxes and do the splits. He was amazing. And then he had to play football in the NFL. and then we lost 40-3, was it? That's what happened next.
Man,
Yeah, fuck Evan Neal, bro.
that
I mean,
that. Go ahead.
no, I was just saying, Evan Neal is highly disappointing.
I think that's everybody's concern so far is Evan Neal. I think most people are confident with the guys that we've brought in. It's just a matter of them having time to become a cohesive unit, gelling together and becoming one offensive line. But I think that everybody in the Giants community as a fan base is worried about Evan Neal. The logical people, the irrational people are just complaining about DJ. But the logical football fans would have to say that their biggest concern is Evan Neal and if the offensive line that we've put together is going to work. Then the next step was how's DJ coming back from injury and how's that going to look? Is he going to be second guessing himself? Is he going to be confident? Is he going to go through his progressions faster? Is he going to be more decisive? So, the logical football fans have a few concerns and probably some more than others, but for the most part, I think the general consensus would be Evan Neal. Uh, Wales, to answer your question, I'd give DJ and Neal 2 games. If we lose both, they're done, says Hilltop Mock. He always out there kneeling. Neal has part in getting our investments hurt. Why risk it if we are trying to get better? Okay, just my thoughts. DJ is not the main issue. Yeah, I've been saying that for a while. Our offensive line was our main issue. Poor coaching was our main issue. No consistency at coaching or at a playbook. It's been multiple issues. I don't know what happened to Pat.
I
If
went
he
on a smoke break.
That must have been the biggest black and mild in the world. You're muted.
You got to extendo black and mild.
Right. You're muted, Alex.
No, I didn't mean to say anything, but
Oh.
Hey, y'all, but I'm about to log off, man. I'm about to go lay it down and everything. Who's good rapping with
Somebody said I
y'all
had an extendo black and mild. That's crazy.
though? Hey. He said, your black and mild was like this long.
They're smoking a trumpet.
Man. Hey man, light my black for me from over there, man.
Yeah.
Light my black.
You blowtorch.
Yeah, hey, but nah, I'm about to get up out of here though. Yeah, I was good rapping with y'all, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Go Big Blue, go Giants.
Y'all go check
Big
Jay
Blue
Lee
cool.
out of his
I'm
comedy
out.
set at a club near you in H-Town. You heard?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
If you in downtown Houston off Post Street, go to the C. If you in Houston at all, the Houston area, go to the secret group in downtown Houston. Just look it up.
Just
Peace.
tell everybody you there to see Al B. Sure's little brother.
Right.
Yeah, I'll be the nigga with the drippy curl. With the all right, y'all.
All right.
Wow.
Man, we probably go for about a couple more minutes, man. Wasn't planning on being here long tonight. I'm extremely tired, but yeah, I do believe this team will not be 3-14. And I'll say this: 11-6 is very, very, very possible if we could go 4-2 in our division and at least be 500 playing the AFC North.
Hey, Hilltop Mark said Big Pat was puffing on a big fat black and mild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Hilltop Mop been saying some crazy stuff in the chat. I think ain't you a Dallas fan, bro? I think you is. But
That makes sense. They've been saying hilarious shit for 29 years. This is our year. This is our year.
Man, we done been to 3 Super Bowls since the last time y'all have even reached the NFC Championship game. But it is what it is.
We done been to 4. We just won 3.
No, we've been their last Super Bowl was in '95.
Yeah.
So we've been to 3 and 1-2.
Okay, that's right. I'm tired.
Right. Facts.
Y'all go subscribe. Stop being ninja watchers. Go check out Big Blue in the Bronx right there. Go check out Unpopular Opinion Sports over there. You know what I'm saying? Big Pat Sports Talk over there. Oh, I got it right. Each one. Let's go. Okay. Now, you better subscribe to my channel. I'm going to show up to your crib with a ninja mask and a machete with rust on it. All right. Y'all know what it is. Until next time.
All right. Man, you already know what it is, man. To the gulag. See y'all the next episode, which will probably be tomorrow night on Lou's channel. Big Blue Lounge. Let's go.
Peace.
Looks like we got another one! On the ground! This is the Gulag. In here, you fight to win back your life.